The Philippines moves to the beat of progress. And no one knows its pulse like BDO Unibank. With leading scale and reach, the expertise and local knowledge to connect you to Philippine business. BDO Unibank. We find ways.
wanna ask, what do you think you're doing? The air is so dirty now. I'm probably gonna grow up with asthma.
It's always so hot and there's not enough water for everyone. Other times there's flooding because storms are getting stronger. That's scary.
What kind of future am I gonna get from you? If you're gonna produce energy, please make sure it's good for all of us.
At First Gen, we believe it's our responsibility to provide cleaner energy that's good for the environment. So we only produce power that is 100% clean, 100% reliable, using 0% coal. Not just for us, but for more generations to come. First Gen, 100% green power, 100% good power.
So, are we good?
The world of today may have changed, yet our belief has always stayed the same. Everyone deserves the good. That's why we've changed for the better. We've made ourselves better, so we can reach those who have just begun to chase after their dreams. So we can give women the light by which to guide their families to a better tomorrow. So we can realize the hope that every Filipino harbors and move forward, leaving no one behind. We're better today, because today is what shapes the future. And in the future, we see everyone leading a lifetime for good. In life, a lifetime for good.
It feels good to be back. Hello there, my name is Sam. Welcome to SM Mega Mall Safe Malling.
Things may seem a little different now, pero dito sa the SM Store, your safety remains our top priority. Ako po si Jeffrey of the SM Store, and samahan po ninyo kami as we walk you through the measures we've implemented to ensure your safety. Sa lahat ng aming branches nationwide, mandatory thermal checks will be facilitated.
Lahat rin ng aming staff ay nagsusuot ng face masks and face shields. We take precaution by implementing a no mask, no entry policy sa lahat ng aming branches.
At dahil importante sa amin ang inyong safe shopping experience, we make sure to sanitize all our shopping baskets and carts bago ninyo sila gamitin.
Lahat rin ng aming selling areas ay sinasanitize thoroughly. Para mas masigurong kayo ay ligtas, ang aming ring mga counters ay sinasanitize every after transaction.
As part of our protocols, lahat ng aming staff ay required na maghugas ng kanilang kamay regularly.
At dito sa the SM Store, we conduct regular rapid tests sa aming mga staff to ensure that you are safe when you shop with us. Now, more than ever, our customers' and employees' safety is at the heart of the SM Store. See you here at the SM Store.
We believe that relationships should be built on trust. From where we see it, the difference between selling an idea and putting a message across is in discovering the truth behind a brand. We make it our job to tell the truth, not by building an image, but by focusing the light on the good that you do. Because in the end, it's not about us. It's about you. Tell us your story. We'll make sure everyone listens.
Ano man ang pinagdadaanan mo ngayon, sige lang sa paroroonan. Dahil ang bawat isa sa atin may magagawa. Sa bahay, sa trabaho, sa serbisyo ng isa't isa. Kaya tara na. Mabagal man minsan, may patutunguhan. Kaya ituloy lang natin ang pagmalasakit. Ituloy lang natin ang pagkapit sa pag-asa. At sigurado, susulong tayo. Pilipinas, kaya natin to.
Philippines.
The success story we want to share with the world, and we are ANC.
Sa Philippines.
The success story we want to share with the world, and we are ANC.
sharing your story that truly is worthy to be told and heard across the oceans and seas. We are driven by balanced views, fearless views, in the spirit of fairness and truth. Someone you can trust, who is just when you ask is a must. Cause there is an inquirer in all of us.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiging kasasilahanan, alam ng puso sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang pinilang, kuyakan ang magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka masisipin, sa nagagang tulong sa simayan, sa langit ang bangaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang katawan ko'y patuloy na nagtigilig, ang ituwing at araw niya kailan ang hindi magtigilig. Tuman ang araw ng waragit pagsimula, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang bigaya ng pagkay mga akin, ang mamatay ng langit sa'yo.
Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 18th Management Association of the Philippines International CEO Web Conference 2020, A Whole New World, Reigniting the Stalled Global Economy. As we pivot our International CEO Conference from in-person to the web to the challenges of the new normal, we are grateful for the continued support of our presenters who helped make this possible. Thus, we would like to acknowledge our co-presenters and receive their messages of support, starting with Mr. Dennis O. Valdez, President of Alphaland Corporation.
Alphaland is proud to co-present the MAP International CEO Web Conference and its crucial discussions on a whole new world, reigniting the stalled global economy. Today, we will be discussing how we all get back to the new normal. At our Balisin Island Club, we were the first to do 100% COVID-19 testing of all visitors and employees going to the island. We believe that this is the future of tourism, and that increasing testing with rapid results is a good first step to getting tourists comfortable with the idea of traveling again. Thank you to MAP for spearheading this discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Valdez. We would like to introduce Mr. Nestor V. Tan, President and CEO of BDO Unibank, for his message.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having BDO Unibank here today as co-presenter of the 18th MAP International CEO Web Conference. It has been 5 months since the COVID-19 pandemic hit us, and we are adjusting and getting accustomed to this new norm. People are restarting their lives, and businesses are reopening their doors again. But it's no longer the same. We find ourselves trying to get back on track, but the track has moved on. It is a global challenge, and each country has their own way of addressing this, including the Philippines. On a macro level, we all need to pull together and do our part to help our economy recover from this pandemic. As management practitioners, we need to prepare our organizations to function under pandemic conditions. However, it's not just about acceptance of the new normal and finding our way back on the new track. It's about rethinking how we do business. People or companies who can re-energize their organizations and reinvent their businesses are the ones who move on and lead the pack. But those who can't will find themselves left with the rest. For our part, we see the banking industry as enablers of commerce. Our challenge is how to manage our balance sheet, capital, and liquidity to ensure that funds are adequately available to fund the needs of the economic participants. For most of us, IT is a major game changer. The concept of digitization has taken over much of the conversations in boardrooms. It has even fast-tracked the transition from plans to implementation. While seemingly visible in the banking industry, this goes much deeper than payments and e-commerce. Majority of banking transactions are still not digitally enabled. With all good intentions, we can only move as fast as the legal framework and market acceptance will allow us. The challenge is how to enable clients so that a large portion of transactions can be done digitally while keeping physical those that can't. In BDO Unibank, we have continued to invest in technology, but our focus has always been on enablers. It is about having the right foundations to make us nimble and the right infrastructure to make our operations robust and secure. In the end, it's about being prepared and able to move fast. I'm sure you have your individual challenges. It's never easy with the constraints we have to work under and the priorities we have to juggle, but it must be done. We know what we must do. The challenge, though, is how to and where to start. I wish you all good luck, and it has been an honor sharing some messages with you. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and please stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. Tan. We would like to introduce Mr. Miguel G. Belmonte, President and CEO of Business World, for his message.
A virtual hello to all our dear friends and colleagues from the MAP, speakers, delegates, fellow Zoomers. As we all know, the past quarter has literally been a survival of the fittest. For many of us in business, it has been a period of unnerving bottom lines and contraction, which we were all unprepared for. On the other hand, since the outbreak, we have also been witness to the collective and sustained effort of the business sector to get the economy and the nation moving, be it in terms of emergency response, putting up isolation facilities, donating PPEs and supplies to our healthcare workers, testing employees, and basically mobilizing valuable company resources to serve the Filipino public and to aid government response to this unforeseen global crisis. For its part, the Management Association of the Philippines has been at the forefront of shaping policy and forward thinking in our current normal. Just as the International CEO Conference endeavors to provide clarity to our highly ambiguous environment. In behalf of Business World, I congratulate MAP for being a beacon to the industry and as your fellow advocate in the dissemination of the most important business updates and information, we will continue to be supportive of your efforts. I also take this opportunity to invite everyone to join local and international business leaders to the upcoming Business World Economic Forum in November 2020. The forum is themed Reboot, Rethink, Reshape, and we promise, as always, an excellent assembly of experts to help our industries adapt to new economic realities brought about by this unprecedented global crisis. Meanwhile, please enjoy today's sessions, which no doubt will be enriching. Keep safe, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Belmonte. We would like to introduce Mr. Jesus Boboy Romero, Chief Operating Officer of Converge ICT Solutions, for his message.
Reigniting the nation. We are in unprecedented times. The pandemic has been challenging for all of us, but life doesn't have to stop. Dreams don't have to be shelved, and goals need not be forgotten. Whatever the circumstances, we look ahead and we move forward. We don't have to merely survive in this new normal. We need to thrive. And to thrive, we need to engage, enable, and empower everyone, be it at home or in business. Engage. We should push for a more involved involvement and engagement of LGUs, government agencies, and the private sector to push new normal private-public partnerships and promote livelihood programs. Multi-sectoral endeavors promote commitment. Commitment that we all need from everyone as we forge ahead during these times. Enable. The challenges brought upon the business sector has been daunting. At times, it has seemed insurmountable. But nothing is impossible if we work together. Hence, we need to enable MSMEs, large enterprises, the education sector, and quasi-banks to fully shift to remote work and learning and digital commerce. This ensures continuity of achievement, sustainability, and progress. Empower. By engaging the people to work together and enabling businesses and livelihoods to remain fighting, we empower the nation to be as it always has been, a country that inspires us to be strong no matter what. We at Converge ICT stamp our commitment to power the fight of the Filipinos with the reliable connectivity that they need during these times. We will work hard to help achieve goals, sustain lives, and pursue dreams by providing solutions that push businesses to stay thriving no matter what the circumstances are. The internet has proven to be one of the indispensable linchpins of the new normal, and we will do everything to the best of our abilities to be of service to the nation. Now, more than ever, everybody should be for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. We would like to introduce Ms. Josephine Joji Gotianun-Yap, President and CEO of Philinvest Development Corporation, for her message.
Greetings to my fellow CEOs and guests. We maneuvered the first half of the year, reorganizing our lives and businesses to ensure that we safeguarded our workforce and customers as we continued to serve our respective markets. We were awed by the bayanihan spirit of the private sector in bringing up the testing capacity by more than tenfold. As a member of the T3 core group, Philinvest has been active participant with the 100 million war chest for the COVID fight. During ECQ, we opened our doors to welcome the RITM frontliners to live in the facilities of the Palms Country Club. And now for our COVID-19 brothers to use the Philinvest tent as a quarantine center. Aside from the usual testing and treating support, we funded the start of a data warehouse and public dashboard to track testing and case data for the decision makers. We now enter the second stage, where reigniting the economy is paramount to save the livelihoods of our countrymen. It will need a mix of government stimulus, continued private sector investments, renewed consumer confidence, together with the public's diligence in following the hygiene and safety protocols. In Philinvest, we commit to do our part in continued investments and in support to our various stakeholders, our homeowners, borrowers, tenants, electric cooperatives, farmers, and the Philinvest family. In closing, it is only by remaining united and positive that we can overcome what may be the greatest challenge of our lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gotianun-Yap. We would like to introduce our last co-presenter, Mr. Federico Piqui R. Lopez, Chair and CEO of First Philippine Holdings Corporation, for his message.
Good morning. This year's MAP conference theme, A Whole New World, Reigniting the Stalled Global Economy, is really most relevant and well-timed. I felt for some while that the unprecedented times we're living in have been begging for a new narrative and a new paradigm for how we live, work, do business, and even how we measure success and progress. At just 1 degree Celsius of global warming, we can see the geologic scale changes happening to our planet. These are already evident in record-breaking temperatures and natural catastrophes happening every year now. A path that is sure to turn the Earth into an unlivable planet within the lifetimes of our children, if we are unable to limit the trajectory of global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. Our way of life and patterns of production and mass consumption now use 1.75 Earths annually. That's 75% more than the Earth can replenish each year. This mindless pursuit of growth has left all the main life support systems of our planet in decline. From our oceans, forests, air, soils, biodiversity, and freshwater resources. While the way we do business has brought tremendous and amazing progress, creativity, and innovation, it has also left too many behind. Billions of people still do not have decent access to energy, clean drinking water, toilets, food, healthcare, education, housing, income and work, political voice, social and gender equity, or even peace and justice. The populism that's sweeping the world is a symptom of the growing disenchantment with business, politics, and life as usual. In today's world, it's a disenchantment that's moving at exponential warp speed through the power of social media, whether that's weaponized or otherwise. The natural, social, and political forces being unleashed in the coming decade will likely make it the most challenging and most disruptive business has ever seen. The COVID-19 pandemic is just a mere fire drill for what's coming. And it demonstrates the scale at which things need to change. We are living in a time of great paradigm shifts, and businesses that seek to thrive in this era must be able to reignite, reimagine, and redesign themselves for this new world. There is an urgency for all of us to go beyond state sustainability that just ticks the box or merely aims to do less harm. Businesses need to transform into regenerative forces that align our profit engines with the need for healing toward a better world and a safer planet. Collectively, we have the creativity and innovative energy needed to solve the world's greatest problems. The role of business can be central and key to all this if it rises to the challenge of a new narrative and paradigm. Unlocking these will be the foundation to some of the greatest business opportunities in the coming century. So today, as we discuss and think about how we reignite the stalled global economy, I hope we don't just try to bring back what we've so painfully lost these last few months, but instead reimagine and recreate a whole new world as it urgently needs to be. Congratulations to the Management Association of the Philippines and our best wishes on a successful conference today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez. Now, as we move to formally open today's conference and what it means to operate in a whole new world as we grapple with the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, reshape our processes and strategies to a new normal, reignite our stalled economies, and transform them into resilient ones. Please welcome MAP President, a senior partner and ex-com member from Acrolaw, Attorney Francisco Francis Ed Lim.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Governors and over 1,000 members of the Management Association of the Philippines, or MAP, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all to our 18th International CEO Conference in its first ever online edition. This is an annual event of MAP where registrations come as early as a year before the next event. Over the years, we were able to build this into a brand where trends are first discussed, experts build their portfolio, and where business leaders are able to bring back to their respective organizations new insights that become inputs to their strategic directions. As the pandemic cast its gloomy shadow into the world, we wondered if we would be able to push through with this conference, considering that we would need to rework all the preparations that were already solidified in the early part of this year. I give credit to the quick response of our CEO Conference Committee, who ably pivoted, redesigned, and presented their new concept with remarkable speed. We're unanimous in our choice of the theme, a whole new world, reigniting the stalled global economy. The SARS-CoV-2 is the ultimate traveler. From a handful of localized cases in Wuhan, China, that came out in the news last November 28, 2019, it has since spread quickly around the world. We have to hand it to this coronavirus. It is relentless, adaptive, resilient, all characteristics that we sometimes hope all humans will have. The cases continue to rise, and to date, already tallied over 27.5 million cases all over the world, close to 1 million of whom died. The first week of September saw the Philippines' own count rise to over 235,000 cases, the highest in Southeast Asia, with almost 4,000 deaths. And it continues to spread, leaving infections and deaths in its wake. It is an unseen force that figuratively halted the earth in its axis, put the world in virtual paralysis. It is causing disastrous economic impact, all the more scary because we will not even know the extent of the damage until the virus decides to settle down. What comes next when the gates finally open? It is not the same world we knew before we went into enforced hibernation. It will require a different perspective, and the contents of the business survival kit will not be the usual stuff we do. That is why we're extremely grateful to our pool of global experts who accepted our invitation to share their expertise and insights as we all prepare for the rough road ahead. And that quest for solutions should not stop here. We at MAP want this to be a continuing conversation in and out of the web conference, through packet webinars and to sharing of ideas and experiences. We all need to learn together and help one another if we want to overcome. The impact of the pandemic encroaches on the entire value chain, from the big businesses to the medium, small, and micro enterprises that make up the ecosystem, all the way to the communities whose livelihood and living depend on what we all do. Let us therefore be conscious of our role to take care of the members of our business family up and down the chain, and let our solutions be inclusive, workable, actionable, strategic, and compassionate. The wound that the COVID-19 inflicted will not fade away overnight. It will leave scars that only time will heal, and the memory will be kept alive in the pages of history books. What will our page say about us? It will depend on how we act today. Let us not miss the opportunity to be not only relevant, but to be meaningful contributors in rebuilding this world into a more just and humane society for all who live in it. In the words of Winston Churchill, never let a good crisis go to waste. In closing, let me just take time to acknowledge our partners and contributors who made this web conference possible for at least 5,000 participants who are now joining us in various platforms. I will start with our principal presenter, the San Miguel Corporation. Many thanks also to our co-presenters, the Alphaland Corporation, BDO Unibank, Business World, Converge ICT Solutions, Philinvest Development Corporation, First Philippine Holdings Corporation, and the LT. Special thanks to Isla Lipana and Company, PwC Philippines, for continuing to be our knowledge partner for the past 6 years. Many thanks to the Aeon Group for helping us mount this webcom and the media for covering this event. Many thanks to all our other partners, sponsors, and patrons. Our gratitude also goes to our collaborating organizations, our beneficiary schools, and the Asian Association of Management Organizations, or AAMO, for encouraging their stakeholders to watch this webcom via Facebook and YouTube. And many thanks also goes to our speakers for selflessly sharing their time and expertise with MAP and other participants. My personal thanks goes to the MAP CEO Conference Committee with Alma Jimenez as chair, Juni Del Mundo as vice chair, Dick Dubaladad as governor-in-charge, and Jade De Vinegracia, Donald Lim, Poch Macaranas, Fern Peña, and Charlie Villaseñor as members for their dedication in organizing our webcom. We are in for a most interesting discussion ahead. I wish you all a good day. Stay negative, but feel positive.
Thank you so much, Attorney Lim. Here to shed light on how MAP designed its 18th International CEO Web Conference, please welcome the MAP Conference Chair, who is also the President and CEO of Health Solutions Corporation, Ms. Almarita Alma R. Jimenez.
Welcome to the 18th International CEO Web Conference of the Management Association of the Philippines. We have to admit that it is quite a challenge planning for and executing this event. But the organizing committee was determined to continue what has become a professional development advocacy and rise to the call for ideas that can help find our way out of this dark COVID tunnel into the light. And true to our management discipline, we even planned for the traditional format in case it will be possible, a hybrid conference to combine digital and physical and purely online options. The theme is crisis appropriate. It is on point, it is forward-looking, and it is hopeful. We are gratified that with the output in this redesigned conference format, it will be something that will perhaps portend the days to come. Digital, socially distanced, in a new workspace, in a changed world. And so, here we are. The pandemic is the stuff business nightmares are made of. It exposed our vulnerabilities and magnified our weaknesses. The realities unfolding made our continuity plans look like works of fiction, good to read, but only able to brush the surface of the biggest disruption we are facing in our lifetime. I am sure that we are all learning hard lessons, but also certain that they will serve us in good stead moving forward. Events across the world are sending waves of uncertainties about the future of business in this different world. We are in for the long, arduous climb to recovery, and it starts with reigniting the fractured economy. The agenda of this web conference tackles 5 of these burning issues. First, we are observing with concern the geopolitical shifts and the trade tensions among the superpowers, notably the US and China, both of whom are admittedly major players in Southeast Asia. What challenges will this bring to the region? On the ASEAN front, How will these challenges inform our actions? Will they result in closer cooperation and deeper integration? Or will it expose structural weaknesses that will imperil the region's relative stability? What is the impact of the pandemic in the global business landscape? Are there lessons we can learn from the experiences and actions adopted by other countries that can be replicated? Are there market shifts that we can now explore? What strategies can we consider to take advantage of these opportunities that may open up? How do we build our organizational strengths for a changed future? In a world of fake news and misuse of social media, trust has emerged as a capital for institutions. How are these communication channels being enabled or hindered by media? We hope that after hearing the presentations of the prominent thought leaders we invited to share their thoughts on these issues, we can germinate ideas that will lead to creative solutions and innovations. Right now, we are fighting to survive, and we know that we must exert more effort to pump energy into our inert economy. By all means, let us go to work. With that, let me reiterate our appreciation to the guest speakers, our generous co-presenters, partners and sponsors, the collaborating organizations, institutions, and individuals span the web conference reach. On behalf of the MAP International CEO Conference Committee, let me also acknowledge the unstinting support of President Francis Lim, the Board of Governors, and our Governor-in-Charge, Dick Dubaladad. They made our task easier. We also depended on the strong and able backup of the Secretariat led by Executive Director Arnold Salvador. Finally, I am personally thankful for the time, effort, and all-out cooperation of Co-Chair Juni Del Mundo and the rest of the members of the MAP CEO Conference Committee. The ideas and energies made possible the web conference we are attending today. Thank you and have a pleasant day ahead.
"2020, the year the Earth stood still. No one was prepared for a crisis of this scale. As the virus spread across countries, the structures and systems that maintained global order crumbled. Life and business as we know it on a virtual standstill. As we look at a changed future unfolding, we search for the answers to these big questions. How do we change the narrative of our companies? How do we rebuild businesses amidst changing global dynamics? Where do we begin when the decisions and actions we take today will determine the fate of future generations? The tasks ahead are both challenges and imperatives. A whole new world, reigniting the stalled economy. In this web conference, we hope to add to the arsenal of ideas that can help businesses tackle the harsh realities they face. Is big still better? When a block on a single source can create a major supply chain breakdown? Is product specialization the way to go when it became ineffective in scaling up manufacturing of essential goods? With the insights we gain, we move forward together to adapt, to rebuild, to thrive in the new world. Be inspired. Ignite that spark today.
Before we begin our conference proper, we would like to establish a few house rules to ensure that our conference would go smoothly and run on schedule. We'd like to request everyone to please change their names to their first name and last name, followed by their company or affiliation, so our speakers, moderators, and online ushers would know how to address you. As our speakers are delivering their speeches, we will be putting everyone's audio on mute to avoid distraction and audio feedback. We will be having polls at the end of each session. We would greatly appreciate your participation in this as it will help us in crafting the succeeding conferences. Please note that the speakers' profiles are in the e-souvenir program. In the interest of time, there will be no more lengthy introduction of speakers. As we strive to better ourselves every year, we're encouraging you to send us your thoughts and comments on today's event. Access link to our feedback form will be sent to your email address after the web conference. With these house rules in mind, we hope to give both our speakers and you, our audience, a conducive online atmosphere and a seamless, interactive, insightful, and meaningful conference. The statements of the speakers and the moderators in today's MAP web conference will express their own insights and personal opinions with their proprietary rights. These should not be construed as an official position of the Management Association of the Philippines.